Welcome people to our discussion for educational technology, principles of teaching, and the other questions in relating to licensure examination for teachers. Yours truly, this is Coach Ruby to talk about 50 items discussion for this afternoon. So welcome guys, welcome to PCCE YouTube Live, and welcome also those who are joining us via Google Meet. All right? So we're going to start with the discussion. Please don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel so that you will be notified whenever there is a new material posted there. All right? So before we start, we're going to talk about some trivia questions. All right? So there, I'm sharing the window right now for us or for those who are joining the Google Meet to see the questions about. Okay? So again, this is all about trivia number one. Can you see now the sharing of slides there?
Kita ko
All right. So number one, the hashtag symbol is technically called an octoturf. According to Merriam-Webster dictionary, the prefix refers to the 8 points on the popular symbol, but the torp remains a mystery. One theory claims that it comes from the Old English word for village, based on the idea that the symbol looked like a village surrounded by 8 fields. Next, three. Fear of number 13. Sino bang takot sa number 13 dyan? That called triskaidekaphobia. Okay? That is fear of the number 13. Marami tayong natatakot sa number 13, and that is triskaidekaphobia. Irrationally scared of clowns. Irrationally scared of clowns. You might have coulrophobia. And gyperophobia is fear of bridges. There are some people na takot din sa bridges. So again, fear of 13, triskaidekaphobia. Napakahirap i-pronounce ito. Triskaidekaphobia. Okay? Scare of clowns, coulrophobia. Fear of bridges, gephyrophobia. Gephyrophobia.
Gyrophobia.
All right. Proceed to another trivia. The world's largest pearl. I'm sorry. Ano ba nangyari sa akin? The world's largest pearl was discovered by a Filipino diver in the Palawan Sea in 1934. Known as the Pearl of Laoju, or sometimes called Pearl of Allah. The gem weighs 14 pounds, that is almost 6.35 kilogram, and measures 9.5 inches, about 24 centimeter long, and 5.5 inches, 0.4 centimeter in diameter. It has a value of over US $40 million, believed to be 600 years old. Again, don't forget that Pearl of Laoju or Pearl of Allah. Next, we have question number one. Which of these technologies used in the classroom are arranged from the most symbolic to multisensory? A. Real, print audio, visual materials and visual materials, visual audio materials, print in computers. C. Visual print, audiovisual materials and realia, and print audiovisual materials, computers, and realia. The correct answer here for number one. What do you mean when you say most symbolic to multisensory? Yung sinatawag nating symbolic refers to diagram. Alright? So, pag sinasawag naman nating example ng symbolic, diagrams, Written documents, printed materials, that is symbolic. Yung multisensory, on the other hand, is the actual thing. So that refers maybe to realia. So the correct answer there is letter D. Print is the most symbolic and the most multisensory is realia. What do you mean when you say realia? Actual thing. Alright? So symbolic to multisensory, it's letter D. Number 2. Thousands of connected computer networks around the world. Which term does not refer to internet? A. Net. B. Online. C. Cyberspace. D. Information superhighway. The correct answer here is letter. Last time we talked about this one, the correct answer is online. Ma'am, when you say internet, hindi ba online? Kasi yung tinatawag nating online class, pwede tayong mag-online kahit LAN yung gamit natin or local network lang. So, among there, net, cyberspace, and information superhighway is connected via internet, while online can be sometimes used via local network. So, yung tinatawag nating LAN. Okay? Next one. The correct answer there is letter B. Number 3. Which technology tool can Professor Defensor use to communicate asynchronously with her student? Chat and blog. Chat and instant messaging, blog and video conferencing, and the electronic bulletin board and email. So among the options there, it's obviously all 3 is correct except letter D, electronic bulletin board and email. So hindi po siya synchronous. Unlike letter A, B, and C, they are synchronous. Asynchronous naman yung electronic bulletin board and email. Alright? Pag sinasabi nating asynchronous, hindi siya synchronous. Okay? Or not synchronous. So the correct answer is letter D. Number 4. You tell me later on if you have some questions, guys. Keep on learning, keep on studying because this is at your advantage. Number 4. Which of the following is a limitation of models and real objects in teaching and learning? We had encountered this at the previous text that we had. A. They pose problems on storage. B. They make learning more concrete. C. They provide hands-on learning experiences. Or D. They are readily available in the environment around school and in the home. So it's a common mistake, guys, that every time there is choices given, some examinee choose which is the longest is the correct answer. Hindi po totoo yan sa lahat ng oras. Okay? So dito, ang tamang sagot ay letter A. They pose problem on storage. Bakit? So yung mga real objects or we tinatawag nating realia ay hindi natin basta-basta magamit lamang at any moment we want. Dahil hindi lahat ng realia feasible or pwedeng dalhin sa classroom. Halimbawa, if you're going to study digestive system, you cannot bring intestines there inside the classroom. So, there is a problem in storage. And plus, where you're gonna get that intestine? It must, if you are going to use that. So, there is problems on storage. So, the correct answer is letter A. Bakit D? The correct answer is letter A. Nagkamali yan yung encoding natin. Pa-correct natin later. Alright? Next question. In the delivery of distance education, what computer application is used to organize instruction and track students' record and progress? Computer-based multimedia, computer-assisted instruction, computer-mediated education, or the computer-managed instruction? So when you are delivering distance education, computer application is used to organize instruction and track student records and progress to assist the facilitator or the teacher. So the correct answer there is letter B, It must be a computer-assisted instruction. So, ngayon, we are encountering certain issues about the modalities in delivery of learning to our students. Deep Ed or Department of Education faces a lot of challenges regarding this one. But alam niyo people, madami nga tayong modalities. We can also use the modular instruction. Of course, the computer assisted, which is through online learning. So pag hindi feasible yung online learning sa isang lugar, pwede naman you can opt into modular instruction. That's the reason why ngayon class, halimbawa, next week available na yung books natin. So you can have the book and you can bring it at home, you can answer the book, and eventually there is an answer given at the back of the book. And if you have some question, you can post it through our online platforms such as chat box, chat groups, our Facebook and YouTube lives, through our Google Classroom. You can actually do a lot of things, but we should not think to stop learning because, when you are stopping learning, I would like to inform everyone learning or education is also one of the most essential part of humanity. So wag nating baliwalain na yung i-freeze for 2 years or 1 year or even without vaccine, mahihirapan po tayong mag-recover. So that's the reason why keep educating yourself, keep grabbing the opportunity to learn. Alright? Number 6. Which kind of rubric is best to use in rating students' project done for several days? A. Analytic. B. Holistic. C. Either holistic or analytic. Or D. Both holistic and analytic. So the correct answer here is letter A. Analytic. Okay? Yes, analytic. Okay? Last time we talked about analytic and holistic rubric. The best is that you have to determine the objectives of your lesson, and you can project what to use as a rating rubric for the students. Analytic is you are going to analyze or give some criteria based on the critical points of the child. When you say holistic, kabuuan, all right? So, analytic, specific critical points. Holistic, the entire point. All right? But there are some teachers who also utilize both holistic or analytic. But rating the student project done for several days, the best is that analytic. All right? Because it's a very applicable for those project that has deadlines. Alright? Ang holistic naman, yung byproduct na ng students. Number 7. Which two of an analytic rubric? A. It's time-consuming. B. It is easier to construct than the holistic rubric. C. It gives one's level of performance per criterion. Or D. It allows one to pinpoint the strength and weaknesses of one's work. Okay. So again, kanina pinag-usapan natin yung analytic rubric. So yung analytic rubric, number 1, easier to construct than the holistic rubric. Check. Because the correct answer here is letter B. Okay? Bakit ba sa holistic? Anong mangyayari? Sa analytic kaya lang, it's time-consuming. It gives one level of performance per criterion. Sabi ko nga, may critical point na mini-measure. And it allows one to pinpoint the strength and weaknesses of one's work. Unlike holistic, kabuuan, yung analytic may several points to consider. So the correct answer is letter B. It's not easier. That's why it's not true. Because mas easier yung holistic compared sa analytic. All right? Number 8. Your father wanted to finish his long dream course, but wanted to do it at home during his free time. Would you recommend an online learning? Your choices is A, yes, because online learning is the in thing. B, no, because online learning inhibits student-teachers interactions. C, No, because hiring a helper would enable him to attend regularly in his class. Or D, yes, because he could learn at his own pace using a wide spectrum of technologies. The correct answer is letter D. Yes, because he could learn at his own pace using a wide spectrum of technologies. The correct answer is letter D. Tama yon. Ginagawa natin yan, class, ito din yon. Although there are some limitation because here in the Philippines right now, napakahirap ng ating signal sa internet. At pag umuulan, brown out, wala tayong internet. So napakahirap ang ano ng challenges natin. Ang dami nating challenges, alright? So that's why yung iba naman ayaw na mag-online. But if you have chances to do it, why not? Number 8. Number 9. Professor Reyes is thinking of an online learning approach by which content provides links to information at other locations and serves as a focal point for this distance education experience. Which of the following should she use? A. Teleconferencing. B. Self-paced program. C. Web-based instruction. And D. Computer-aided instruction. The best answer among the choices is letter C. Web-based instruction. Why? Because there are provided links of information. So that's why web-based siya. Yung computer-aided instruction, walang link, pwede. Alright? But among the option, the best answer is letter C. Number 10. Tell me if I'm fast. Number 10, which is not a basic consideration in selecting and evaluating the content of an educational technology tool. Not. So whenever you see questions that is not other questions, you must consider that the choices must have one negative answer. So one negative answer could be a correct answer. Okay? So let's try. Letter A, does it match the content? B, can it be easily dismantled? C, will it motivate and maintain interests? Or D, is there evidence of its effectiveness? The correct answer there, what is the not there? All three is correct except letter B. Can it be easily dismantled? It doesn't talk about the consideration or the evaluation of technology tool. So that is the correct answer or the not there. Letter B. Number 11. Rodeline is going to discuss about the ADDIE model to a big class. She is planning to use a technology by which parts of her presentation would be partly hidden to make it more exciting and interesting. What do you think? Shall she use? All right. When you talk about ADDIE model, this is a model advanced by certain theories. If I'm not wrong, it must be Huygens. So ADDIE stands for A, analysis, D, design, development, implementation, E, evaluation. All right? So the options are model, letter A, B, realia, transparency, video. All right? Can you partly hidden the model? Parang mahihirapan ka, most especially if the model is big. Can you partly hide the realia? Of course, mahirapan din tayo kasi it's an actual thing. Transparency, video. So among the options there, yung madali lang to be partly hidden to make it more exciting and interesting is letter C, and that is transparency. Pwede mo kasi i-keep yung half. You just show the upper side. Alright? So that is the excitement of the transparency. Yung video naman kasi tuloy-tuloy yan unless you're gonna stop. Okay? So the correct answer is letter C for number 11. Next one, number 12. With the increasing use of educational technology inside the room, what role is expected of the teacher? Okay? So, sa pagdating ng 21st century, we have already edtech or educational technology. Yung kaibahan noon at ngayon, noon wala tayong edtech na subject sa old curriculum, foundation of education lang. Yung ngayon sa makabagong curriculum ng teacher's ed, meron tayong educational technology, social dimension, and we have also teaching as profession, child and adolescents, which is dati wala yan. That was included in the foundation of education. Ngayon, because of the changes and the evolution of educational technology, ngayon naging parte siya ng ating bagong curriculum. Now, the tanong is, umiba yung role ng isang teacher. Dati-dati, we are the sole giver of the information. We are the one who is initiating the class, and we are the one who is supplying the information to the student. Ngayon, iba na. Bakit? Naiba na yung role ni teacher. A, facilitator. B, researcher. C, knowledge giver. Or D, source of information. So the correct answers obviously is letter A, facilitator of learning. When you say facilitator of learning, we are not the knowledge giver alone. We're not the source of information, but this time we have what we call interchanging of ideas, both the teacher and the students. In fact, ngayon, if you have observed, students are even knowledgeable than their teachers sometimes. Alright? That's the reason why challenges yan sa ating mga guro na dapat meron tayong mas may alam kaysa sa ating mga learners or students. So, dati-dati, we call facilitator teacher. Ngayon, facilitator of learning. Dati-dati, we call them teacher, and the teacher provides all the information. That's the reason why dati pagod na pagod si teacher. Ngayon, facilitator because they just facilitate learning. So, ikaw naman na student, dati-dati, you're just merely receivers of the information. Ngayon, iba na. Bakit? Yung students natin, hindi natin tinatawag na students. We call them learners because they are involved in what we call learning process. Alright? So, iba yon. So, that's the reason yung ang iba, bakit sa aming school, iba, sabi nila, student, teacher, and school, yung component of educative process. Tama naman. It's the student, the teacher, and the school. Kaya lang, ngayon, sa makabagong panahon, na iba na yung pangalan. It's the learner, the learning process, and the learning situation. Hindi na school tawag doon, learning situation. Ano bang sitwasyon sa kapaligiran ng estudyante? Alright? Number 13. So, napaka-challenging pag teacher ka kasi hindi, to be honest with you, ang dami-dami na ng students na inahandle ko. I am 18 years in this industry. And, we have a lot of passers, thousands of passers na we've been providing a lot of materials and reviews and lectures all throughout the Philippines. But ito yung na-discover ko, guys. Ang na-discover ko is that most of the students only encounter a lot of terminologies during the review, not even their schooling. Hindi nila alam yon sa eskwelahan. Hindi nila narinig yon. So the most important thing is that we are going to study whatever things that you have missed from the school where you came from. Alright? So number 13, which of the following technologies provide iconic experiences? So kanina yung tanong number 1, symbolic. Ngayon, iconic. So, Brunner advanced this concept about inactive, iconic, and symbolic experiences. Alright, when you talk about inactive, actual experience, so ang bata do the hands-on learning. That is inactive. When you talk about symbolic, sabi ko kanina, diagrams, printed materials, symbolic yon. So when you say iconic learning or experience, this refers to the involvement of videos and pictures. So among the choices there, A, videos and computer, B, books and periodicals, radio and audio materials, or D, printed and verbal. So what is iconic experience there? Involving what? A, videos and computer, books and periodicals, radio and audio materials, printed and verbal symbols. The correct answer is letter A, videos and computer. But what about the books, the radio, the printed materials? All right. Um, Symbolic. All right. So actual pictures and videos are referring to iconic experiences. So let's proceed to the next number now. 14. You asked your student to illustrate when they have understood from what they have read. Which of the following non-projected visual are you referring to? All right. A, print materials. B, graphics. C, models. D, realia. So what you're asked from your student is how they understood from what they have read. The correct is non-projected visual. The correct answer is letter D, realia. Okay? So, non-projected yung visual niya. So, actual thing. And that is a realia. Letter D. Next, number 15. There are countless things in the environment that you and your student can use to learn from, such as trees, globes, pebbles, blocks, and others. These real objects and models are really effective if they're utilized properly. Which of the following is incorrect about the use of real objects and models? A. Familiarize yourself with the object or model. B. Allow passing of a single object around the class. Remember, guys, we're looking for the incorrect. So all three must be correct. C. Make sure that the object models are large enough to be seen by the whole class. Or D. Encourage students' participation through questioning and having students decide the next step. Alright, is it A? When you consider realia, familiarize yourself with the object or model? Yes, you must. B. Passing or allow passing of or make sure that the object models are large enough to be seen by the whole class. Encourage student participation. What is the incorrect there? Is letter D, because it doesn't talk about the realia. It talks about discussion. All right. So that is the incorrect there. A, B, C are all correct. Next number. 16. It is impractical to bring real object to the classroom, so Aaron constructed a three-dimensional visual instead. Which of the following did he construct? A. Cartoon. B. Chart. C. Graphic. D. Model. So, we have an issue about dimensional visual and three-dimensional and two-dimensional model. Number 17. Okay, the K-12 basic education curriculum was officially implemented by virtue of what law? A. Republic Act 7836. B. Republic Act 7610. C. Republic Act 10533. And Republic Act 10353. So, some republics are just being constructed. Republic Act 7836 talks about Professionalization Act. And the correct answer here for basic education from Makabayan to from basic education curriculum, it was changed into K-12 or basic education curriculum by the virtue of Republic Act 10533, and that is letter C. Okay? So, napapaloob dito sa 10533, yung K-12 or sometimes called Enhanced Basic Education Curriculum. So, we have the Basic Education Curriculum. It was changed into K-12 and it was otherwise known as Enhanced BEC or Enhanced Basic Education Curriculum. Number 18. Which of the following refers to using learning technologies to introduce, reinforce, supplement, and extend skills? A. Technology integration. B. Educational media. C. Instructional technology. Or D. Technology education. Among the options, that refers to what we call a technology integration. Okay? When we put everything or use technology for our classroom purposes, that is technology integration. Number 19. But remember, guys, a lot more about technology that we should be learning. And we can learn that more and more. 19. A term used to refer to a computer program is what? A. Desktop. B. Hardware. C. Software. Or D. Application. And sometimes it's a common mistake. The question seems so easy, but sometimes those are questions that we cannot truly answer. Here, the correct answer is letter C. Software. When you are actually taking questions during the board exam, those are the questions that you have missed to know. And those are questions that you should know, but how come you do not know? So those are things. Number 20. What is the three-dimensional, or what we call 3D image presentation reproduced from a pattern of interference? GPS, audiovisual, GUI, hologram. So what do you mean? What is the correct answer there? Letter D, hologram. All right? So GPS refers to the location. Number 21. But we're not yet. Some cell phone companies already introducing the hologram. The Philippines is not yet ready for that. There are some. I guess Japan, they're already advanced. Korea, they have hologram programming. But in the Philippines, parang hindi pa siya naipasok talaga sa class. Computer pa nga lang, pahirapan na si teacher eh. Yung computer pa lang yung in-introduce. Hindi pa yan advanced na computer. Mano-mano pa. So, yung mga teacher, before you enter the school, nire-require pa ng DepEd must be about computer. For what purpose? For the purpose that the student could able to use technology through the use of computer literacy of TESDA. So, kukuha ka ng TESDA certificate. So, kayo dyan, pag say for example, wala kang ginagawa, you have to go immediately for TESDA certification program in the computer. Kasi, requirement yun pag nag-apply ka na ng Teacher 1 sa DepEd, may ano ka ba? May TESDA certificate ka ba? Are you computer literate? So, kasi ang challenge ng a lot of teachers class is that madaming guro pero hindi sila marunong gumamit ng computer. Alright? So, A, email. B, Google. C, Twitter. D, Skype. Okay, face-to-face. Alin dyan? Alright? So, the best answer there is letter D, which is Skype. Ising Skype talaga. That's face-to-face communication. Yung email is through clicking. By mouse, it's purely written. Google din, at saka yung Twitter. Twitter is a social media. So, the face-to-face interaction is more on Skype. So, the correct answer is letter D. Number 22. Which instructional application will you introduce to your class if your objective is to help them find and use information resources available in the internet? A, web quests. B, hybrid course. C, scavenger hunt. Or D, distance education. The correct answer here is letter C, that's scavenger hunt. Okay? Yung web quest naman is also a way of surfing in the internet. Ang hybrid course at saka distance education is one of the MOOCs. So, ano yung MOOCs? MOOC. MOOC stands for Massive Open Online Course. So, ang MOOC, lumalabas ko sa board exam binibigay itong MOOC sa mga large number of students. Bakit? Hindi na sila ma-accommodate in a classroom. So, nag-uso yung distance education. Sa bahay ka na lang, you don't have time to go to the school, you don't have time to do formal schooling, so may online learning. So, when you say MOOCs, massive open online course, lumalabas yan sa board exam. It was three times that is appearing the actual board exam. In 2019, lumabas din yan si MOOC na yan. So, dami nagtatanong, ma'am, ano yung MOOC, MOOC, MOOC? So, MOOC is Massive Open Online Course. 23. You asked your student to show a two-dimensional illustration of what they have understood from what they have read. Which of the following non-projected visuals are you referring to? Is that a graphic organizer? B. Print materials, model, or D. Realia? The correct answer there is letter A. Graphic organizer. Okay? We have what we call non-projected visual. You're referring to graphic organizer. What is a graphic organizer? They call advanced organizer. And one of the advanced organizer is graphic organizer, referring to what we call diagrams. We have also fishbone diagram. For comparison, we have Venn diagram. We have scattergram. Dami niyan. So, tawag doon mga graphic or flow chart. The time organizer, tawag sa kanila ay graphic organizer. It was a challenge when I was in college and was asked by a professor to prepare a graphic organizer na tulalay ako kasi hindi ko yung alam ano tinatawag natin graphic organizer. And you need to research on that, what the different graphic organizer. Doon ko na-realize, ang dami pala. Ang dami pala. Which you teacher can also utilize when you do class, when you do have a class in senior high or junior high din or even elementary. Bakit? Mas madaling maintindihan kasi pag naka-graphic organizer. Alright? Number 24. Which statement is incorrect about computer conferencing? Okay? So, maghahanap naman tayo ng hindi tama. So, all three is correct except that one. A refers to live student interaction with an expert. So, known as discussion, forum, or bulletin board. C, this also refers to online class discussion, forums, or debates. Okay, yung forum, pag madami, fora ang tawag doon. Or D, it permits two or more individual. Okay, what is not correct there? The incorrect there, letter A. Bakit kaya? Refers to live student interaction kasi hindi student interaction lang with an expert. Okay? So, hindi siguro matatawag yung belong sa conferencing. Okay? Pag mag-conference, it must have two or more audience with an expert. Okay? So, that's the correct answer, letter A. Number 25. Why is one-way delivery of information a misuse of communication tools? One-way delivery. I am the teacher. I have the sole knowledge of the information. I'm gonna give it to you. One way ang delivery. So, student cannot answer back. Alright? Sabi ko kanina, mag-answer back kayo. Pag may question ka, magtanong ka ha, or you can turn on your microphone or interrupt me if you want. Or we can wait after the class. I will ask you some questions after. Okay? A, because the teacher expects the students to study more. B, because it requires activities that focus on thinking than responding. C, because it enables the user to focus more on higher level cognitive activities. Or D, it's because this kind of practice lessens interaction capabilities of communication tools. And that's the correct answer, letter D. Okay? That kind of practice rather lessens interaction capabilities of communication tools. Just like what we're using right now, okay? So, napakahirap. Yung sinasabi ngayon, ma'am, hindi kami komportable sa online. Actually, class, magiging komportable tayo as of the moment. Pilitin natin magiging komportable because we don't have a choice. In the middle of the pandemic, hindi pwedeng ayaw mo nang mag-learn kasi may COVID. Okay? Ang COVID kasi, andyan lang yan. Pag the vaccine that we're waiting for is not an overnight thing. Matatagalan yan. So, yung iba nga, 20 years pa na-discover yung vaccine. Okay? Sana sa atin mas mabilis kasi may SARS-CoV-1. May MERS-CoV-1. So, this one is 2. So, sana mas madali. Alright? Number 26. Which of the following is an ineffective use of presentation software? Okay? A. Darken the room of the learner. I'm sorry. There must be missing a word there. Use appropriate pacing. Read directly from the slides. Or D. Allow interaction with the learner. Okay? So normally when you do presentation class, number 1, questions at the last. Okay? Walang normally pag ang presentation is via TV or yung video. So, instruct the student that you can ask questions after the presentation. When you do presentation also, once you explain further about the presentation or the slides, you must turn off the slides. That's the etiquette in doing the presentation thing. Remember, may lifespan kasi yung LCD projector natin. No? The correct answer here is letter C. Read directly from the slides. Kasi the slides, just like anything, it should not be an everything or ano pang gagawin mo if the slides explains everything, teacher or facilitator. So, dapat, when you do that slide presentation, it must be the important thing but not the details. Alright? So, dapat may isa na wala dun sa slides. So that there's a purpose of having you there as a lecturer, as a teacher, and as a presenter. Number 26. Importante din na darker ang room if you have the slide presentation. Number 27. Professor Mandanas would like to use an audio compact disc in teaching a lesson in Filipino. In which activity in the teaching learning process, it is very effective. Okay? So, integrating technology. A. Developing listening skills. B. In teaching creating thinking. In composing poems. Or D. In building concept. The correct answer is letter A. When you have an audio inside the classroom, kahit sa mga speech lab natin, the teacher will be teaching you the proper pronunciation or the phonetics. Dapat there is learning there. And the best learning, the first learning rather that you could have is the development of listening skills. Alright? So the correct answer is letter A. Yung mga singer daw, mga magagaling kumanta dyan, okay, you have a very good listening skills because pwede ka or kaya mo makisabay sa mga multiplex. Alright? So, ganun din sa klase. When you use the audio compact disc in teaching a lesson in English or whatever thing sound, you are developing listening skills. Number 28. Your principal purchased new computer units for your Learning Resource Center. Last consideration, is it computer can be used for entertainment? Computer can be used for research activity. Computers can be used to interactive presentation. Or D, computer can be used to reinforce discussion of difficult concepts in class. So all answers is correct. But you're going to choose the last consideration. So there are some questions in the actual board exam that sometimes all answers are correct. You're going to choose the best answer. Or all answers are correct. You're going to choose the least important answer. Alright? At this moment, the last consideration or the most considered. So the correct answer here is letter A. computer can be used for entertainment. All right. So whenever we have computer sets in our classroom, that is the last consideration to entertain them. Okay. It is supposed to be for research activity. It is supposed to be for interactive presentation, and it is used to reinforce discussion or difficult concepts in class. Okay. So the last consideration again is entertainment. Number 29. Alam nyo, hindi lang yan yung possible na questions sa actual board exam. Would you believe there are thousands of possible questions in the actual board exam? So sa professional education, dapat all concepts, alam mo, kasi parang sa actual board exam, kahit ano pa yung question na yan, kahit nag-change yung format. Kasi ma'am, baka kasi hindi naman lalabas yan. Kaya nga, hindi natin alam kung lalabas o hindi. That's the reason why the more we learn, the better. Sabi niya, ma'am, dapat naka-NCBTS. Lahat ng questions ay based sa standard of construction, so board. Ma'am, NCBTS kasi dapat 7% lang math. Hindi totoo yan, ano? I've been reviewing for 18 years. Sabi niya, NCBTS based ba yan? Whether it is NCBTS based or not, the thing is that you don't know what will come out in the actual board exam. So sa actual board exam naman, ang hirap-hirap kasi madaming questions that are not that was not even discussed because yung dito napaka-limited lamang sa mga ano bang pwede lumabas. So sa math 7%, English 4%, ganon. Pero ng actual exam, mas madaming lumabas yung biology. O sino yung top notcher? Biology major. Ang daming lumabas sa math. Sino ang top notcher? Math major. Kasi alam nila yon. So, ikaw naman, na average person ka lang, medyo mahirapan ka. So, that's the reason why preparation, the better. Basta, ano pa naman ako kukuha? But still, alam nyo yung advantage, nag-early ka na. Yung ibang school dyan, nagpa-embed ng curriculum. Second sem pa lang, nag-aaral na sila. Para sa ano? Para sa review. Alright? So, number 29. Which of the following is not a benefit of technology education? A. It improves critical thinking abilities. B. Unlimited access to games and other internet sites. Or C. Allows cooperative learning. Or D. It increases self-expression. Okay, not a benefit. So, all three can be benefit except letter B. Unlimited access to games and other internet sites. Okay? So, sinasabi natin last time na yung may mga issue about internet connections and the accessibility of what we call some sites in the internet. But I would like to, pag sinasabi nating sites na hindi allowed sa estudyante natin, halimbawa, when you have connections inside your university, college, or campus, dapat naka-block na automatically yung games at saka mga ibang sites dyan, mga obscene and pornographic sites. Other than that, there are some sites that is really insignificant to the learners. So, we should not access there purposely for education. Alright? So, pwede sigurong mag-ano tayo. Ang problema kasi natin sa internet connections is that wala siyang censorship. They can put whatever you want. But they can control it by blocking the sites. Alright? So, number 30. Which situation shows that technology can be used to A. Teacher Eric employs educational games related to the lesson they are taking. B. Miss Cleo designs lesson which use cooperative learning technology integration. C. Mr. Jimmy utilizes computer-assisted instruction program so that students will learn at their own pace. Or D. Teacher Sarah assigns project to her class where self-expression and creativity is acknowledged. The correct answer here is letter A. Teacher Eric employs educational games related to the lesson they are taking. Alright? Why? Because they are motivated. Ma'am, anong tawag doon? Tawag doon is experimentalism. You allow the student to experience learning. Ma'am, halimbawa, yung billiard, dinala ko sa klase. Well, that's good. That's progressivist. That is experimentalist. Alright? Students can learn and experience playing billiard by being a tool to teach geometry in mathematics. So, tinatawag doon integration of learning. Okay? So, in relation to the lesson they are learning. Okay, number 31. 31. He is considered as the father of modern media in education. John Piaget, Robert Gagny, B.F. Skinner, Edgar Dale. Okay, among the options there, John Piaget talk about cognitive development. Robert Gagny talks about sequential learning, and B.F. Skinner talks about correct answer is letter D, that is Edgar Dale. Okay, cone of experience. Yung what is the nearest from the real thing and the farthest from the real thing. All right? That's why he is called as the father of the modern media in education. Edgar Dale. Okay, he is the one Dale code of learning experiences. Number 32. It is termed to denote a whole range of technologies associated with processing information and with sending and receiving messages. Is that educational technology? Is that information and communication technology? It is system design. The correct answer is letter B, information and communication technology. Alright? The range of technology associated. Yung ito naman yung educational technology natin, nagre-refer sa pag-integrate ng technology sa education. So, magkaiba yung ICT at saka yung EdTech. However, ICT is still part and belong to educational technology. Number 33. A methodology widely used for developing new training programs. Is it Microsoft, World Wide Web, instructional system design, computer technology? The correct answer there is letter C, or instructional system design. 34. This is considered to be the first manual data processing device developed in China in the 12th century AD. A. Hieroglyphics. B. Papyrus. C. Printing press. Or D. Abacus. Alright? It was in China, and correct answer is abacus. So the first computer thing is abacus. I have remember last time that we are using abacus programming in our booking in a travel agency. So, napakaano to. Ito yung unang sistema. This is a system of computer recording, bookings, ganon. So, abacus ang tawag doon. So, yung hieroglyphics naman is way of writing. Number 35 is considered to be the father of computing because of his contribution to the basic design of computer. A. John Napier. B. William Alfred. C. Blaise Pascal. Or D. Charles Babbage. The correct answer is letter D. Charles Babbage. Alright? Number 36. Which is standard input device that accepts letters, numbers, and commands from the user? Is it trackpad? Is it a light pen? Is it mouse or keyboard? Okay, the one that accepts letters, the correct answer is letter D, keyboard. 37. Are you still there, guys? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Andyan pa kayo? O, sige. So, am I sounding clear? Check, check.
Very clear, ma'am.
Number 37.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, let's proceed. Number 37, Mr. Rico carefully studies the materials he acquired from the internet. He always examines if the author is qualified to present the material. This practice is A. Necessary to ensure that the materials are reliable. B. Unethical because he does not trust the author. Or C. Unnecessary because all resources from the internet are dependable. Or D. Just a waste of time. So among the choices there, the correct answer is letter A. Necessary to ensure that the materials are reliable. So if you're going to read a book or looking at even to the report right now, madami ding fake news. So when you want to ensure na tama ba to yung sources and examine who is the author. Halimbawa, kung hindi mo naman kilala yung author na nag-post sa YouTube or sa Facebook, baka hindi naman reliable. Alright? So, dapat importante na reliable yung materials natin. Alright? So, even examining the fake news right now, kasi dami-daming fake news. When a teacher asks the consistency of a material taken from the internet, which other available materials he or she is concerned with its blank. A. Relevance. B. Accuracy. C. Coverage. Or D. Currency. We're talking about consistency of the material. So when you talk about consistency of the material, is the material tama? Is the material accurate? Is the material reliable? So the correct answer here is letter B. Accuracy. So, pag consistent, dapat accurate. From beginning to end, tama siya. Alright? So, hindi naman, pwede namang hindi covered lahat. Pero, ang pinaka-importante, accurate siya. Right? Next one, number 39. One teacher for grade level in a single class. Isang teacher, iba't ibang grade level, grade 2, 3, and 4, covered niya. Ano tawag sa kanya? A. Multi-grade instruction. B. Modified in school-off-school approach or MISOSA. Okay, you have to name plus ha. MISOSA refers to modified in school-off-school approach. Or C. Instructional management by parents, community, and teachers, and that is referring to impact. Or D, effective and affordable secondary education, or EASE. The correct answer here is letter A, multi-grade instruction. Ma'am, kailan ba nakikita yung tinatawag nating multi-grade instruction? So yung multi-grade instruction ay makikita natin when there is what we call alternative learning system. So sa ALS, when there is a mobile teacher covering different centers, halimbawa, punta siya sa bundok ng Atimunan, Kanwilihan, at saka Barasalon. So, magkatabi yan. So, there is a mobile teachers who is handling what we call alternative learning system, the delivery approach. And pagdating niya doon, yung estudyante niya is ang estudyante niya iba't ibang grade level. Alright? So, they are doon multi-grade instruction. This is true to mga hazardous area, ha? Isang teacher, lahat, grade 1 to 6, siya yung nag-handle. Or dalawa lang sila. Ang isa, siya teacher, siya pa yung principal, siya pa yung nagiging combo operator na si teacher sa mga mountainous area o mga area na hindi talaga madaling puntahan. So, we have one student before, awarded siya ng DepEd because he's been handling classes sa mga mountainous area. And that is something, ha? So, tawag doon, multi-grade instruction. Alright? So, number 40. So, paulit-ulit yung sinasabi, ha? Hindi lahat ng lalabas sa board exam na ituro sa ating mga university or sa college where we came from. That's the reason we need to review. Bakit ba tayo nagmamadali? Hindi ko sinabi nagmamadali tayo na talagang kukuha ka sa March or whatever you want. Ang pinaka-importante, sinasabi ko, early preparation. The earliest you prepared, the better. Para napakasimple na lang ng board exam. Pag kuha ka ng September next year or March next year. So, ang iba naman, gusto talaga mag-March. Bakit? Kasi sayang yung time. Ano mo, ang tanda-tanda mo na, delay na ka na sa mga graduation mo, na-delay ka na sa kung ano-ano pang anik-anik dala ng pandemya ng COVID. So, the earlier, the better. Yung may say ka, ito pa rin board exam. Normally, the filing for March starts January. Siguro ngayon, January. O baka ilagay nila ng April yung exam. So, kasi, I feel na mag sila ng exam ngayon kasi yung March 2020, dalawang examination yung delayed nila. And they have already paid, they have already passed the requirements and everything. Okay? So go back to question number 40. Refers to the permanent record showing historical, academic, and co-curricular record of students. A. Form 137. B. Form 138. C, school form 1, or D, school form 2. Alam niyo, people, a lot of students have been confused about this one. So, ano ba yung record na over ng history ng akademya ng isang estudyante? That includes other activities. The correct answer there is letter A, form 137. Alright? So, yung sagot naman kasi yung 138. Ito yung nire-request when you transfer a school. That you cannot bring that na kukunin mo sa old school mo, dadalhin mo sa bagong school mo. It is normally a registrar to registrar transactions. Alright? So, yung form 137, yung school form 1, yung pag magpapa-enroll ka. Now, what about this one? Refers to the set of knowledge, skills, attitudes. That's what we call KSA. Natawa ako sa isang estudyante, ma'am, ano yung KSA sa DepEd? Na-confuse din ako, KSA? Ano ba? Kingdom of Saudi Arabia? The correct answer there is KSA in DepEd stands for Knowledge, Skills, and Attitudes. Successfully assigned roles, functions, and responsibility in an organization. How do you call that? A, learning and development system. B, school-based management. C, competency standards. Or D, human resource development. So the correct answer here is letter C, competency standards. Pag gumawa ka ng objectives, dapat may knowledge, information, may skills, psychomotor, okay, attitudes, may affective domain. So that's the reason why when you prepare for when you prepare for a lesson plan, it is a combination of skills, information, or then psychomotor. So the correct answer is letter C, competency standards. So few years ago, yung competency tinatawag nating NCBTS. Siguro tinuturo yan sa school nyo. When you say NCBTS, that refers to National Competency-Based Standards for Teachers. Okay? Ang tawag nyan. Competency for Teachers Standard, TS, Teacher Standard. Ngayon, yung NCBTS ay pinalitan. Pinalitan ng PPST. So, ano yung PPST? PPST stands for Philippine Professional Teachers Standard. So, wala ng NCBTS. Ang makabago ngayon ay PPST. Naisabi ko lang, bakit? Baka ma-confuse kayo. Kasi baka sa school, ang tinuturo ay NCBTS pa rin. So, when you're taking the actual board exam, hindi na NCBTS-based. Ang tinatawag na PPST-based. So, yung mga RRFMs. So, RPFM. So, we're gonna talk about that when we do the formal learning. Parang nauutal ako dito. Alright? Number 42. This refers to the unconditional means by which students learn in formal education? A. Alternative learning system. B. Alternative delivery mode. C. Multi-grade instruction. Or D. Modified in schools or MISOSA. The correct answer here is letter it refers to the means, so therefore it is a mode. So the correct answer is letter B, alternative delivery mode. All right. So let's discuss first one by one. When you say alternative learning system, there are different structure in our educational system. We have the formal, non-formal, and the informal. Okay. Non-formal, informal, and formal. Okay. Formal, actual schooling. So the students go to school every day. That's formal. Alright? So, wala ngayon yan. So, we have another one, informal. Informal refers to the trainings and the webinars and all that you have attended. That one is called informal. And the last one is the non-formal. What is non-formal education? This is referring to the alternative learning system. The non-formal education of DepEd caters the what we call dropouts of school, the out of school youth, those who are old, who stop schooling, they must go into alternative learning system. So normally multi-grade sila pag alternative learning system. Multi-grade, no grading, non-graded instruction, ganun sila. Bakit non-graded? Hindi ka nagbibigay teacher ng grade sa kanila. Bakit multi-grade? Kasi iba-iba yung age bracket nila. May high school, may matanda, pwedeng may super tanda na, 70 years old. And once they pass, the what we call NFE, A and E, formal education, accreditation, and equivalency. And once they pass, kahit second year high school lang sila, kahit first year high school lang sila, once they pass the not formal, NFA is letter B.